Epilogue. Speak your truth, even if your voice shakes. Poetry is more necessary than ever, as a fire to light our tongues. Naomi Shihab Nye, salting the ocean. This is the part of your journey where you get to choose whether or not to share your poems with other people. It took me a very long time to have the confidence to share mine. I hope you don't wait as long as I did. What I found was that even though I was nervous and my hands and voice shook and I wanted to run away, and that even though I could barely remember my name, let alone my poem, when I read my poetry to others, I became more alive, more whole. I claimed myself. I allowed myself to be witnessed in my strength and my vulnerability, and all the beautiful mess of who I am, and it helped me learn that I am human. And being human is enough. It is perhaps more than enough. When I share my poetry, there are always people who cry and cheer, and I know that everything I've been through and write about is universal, and that voicing it is cathartic not only for me, but for other people. People thank me. They say I put the things they feel into the words they could not find, and it heals them to hear those words. When you commune with your own being and touch your own truth, it saves you. Sharing your truth with others is powerful medicine. Our poems are our pearls. We take what hurts and make it into something beautiful that has the power to heal us and others. If you choose to share your poem, you may feel nervous and afraid. It's okay to feel nervous and afraid. It means you're alive. Yes, it's uncomfortable, but you won't die from it. We're more afraid to feel fear than we are afraid of whatever we're doing. Allow yourself to feel afraid. It's natural. Make friends with your fear. Say hello to your fear. I like to talk to my fear. I say, I know you're scared, but you're welcome here. We're allowed to be afraid. We're allowed to make mistakes. We're allowed to be exactly who we are. Take my hand and I'll take yours, and here we go. Allow your fear and nervousness to give you energy. Your hands and voice may shake, but I promise you, after you read, you will feel like you're on fire. You will feel wildly alive, because you are. You can start by sharing your poems with friends or family, then try sharing with a small group or class. The more you do it, the better you get and the more comfortable you feel. Perhaps there's an arena at your school, community center, or local coffee house where you can do a poetry reading. Perhaps you know other people who write poems and would like a place to share their work too. Once you feel more comfortable, try an open mic poetry reading at a larger venue. This is a great way to connect with other poets. You may want to submit your poetry to some online poetry magazine. It's fun and encouraging to receive the acknowledgement of getting your work published. Just be prepared to get lots of rejections. I did. Don't be discouraged. Editors are very picky and are usually looking for a specific theme or style. If your poem doesn't get accepted, it doesn't mean they're not good. Try again. Also remember, don't write what you think others want. Write for yourself. Write the poems that you feel good about, the ones where you dig deep, the ones that can save your life and set you free. You can also make your own book. I've had friends create artful homemade books with handmade paper and a typewriter. Make a bunch of these and give them as gifts or self-publish with online companies that help you create, print, and promote your book. Invitation. Think about what motivates you to share your poetry with others and that blocks you. What feelings arise when you think about sharing your poems? Just right. Complete the following statements to help you welcome and make peace with the seemingly contradictory yet coexisting emotion of fear, panic, anxiety, desire, excitement, and empowerment you may feel when you consider sharing your poetry with others. The biggest thing I'm afraid of when sharing my poetry is... The reason I want to share my poetry is... When I share my poetry, I feel... To share or not to share your poetry is your choice, if and when you're ready. Sometimes writing is enough. Sometimes the call to share it is as loud as the call to write. Believe in yourself and your poetry. Trust your rhythms. Take chance. Dig deep. Follow what makes you hum. Remember, you're part of the great mystery and web of life. Be curious. Be kind. Be grateful. You're human, and being human is plenty. I hope this book and your poetry help you to love yourself and your life. Love and gratitude. Huge thanks to Patrick Miller, my agent and now friend at Fearless Literacy, who came across my essay in Common Ground and asked if I had a book to write. My mother for believing in magic and believing in me. Annalise Atlichi, my best friend. Stephen Adler, True Blue. Suzanne Painovich, Mermaid Queen. Susan Woodridge, Word Wizard and New Friend. California Poets in the School, Mark Allen, Georgia Hughes, and the team at New World Library for helping me share my journey in the life-saving power of poetry writing. And to my students, who always amaze and inspire me with their courage and creativity. The example poems in this book were written and shared with permission by kids from all walks of life whom I've had the honor of teaching over the past 30 years. They are brilliantly brave and creative, and I hope they stay true to their art, their hearts, and their voices. About the author. Meredith Heller is a poet, singer-songwriter, and educator with degrees in writing and education. She studied in the graduate departments of Johns Hopkins University, Naropa University, and Goddard College. She is the author of 3 poetry collections, Songlines, River Spells, and Yuba Witch. A California poet in the schools, she teaches workshops for grades 1 to 12 in public and private schools, in the creative writing department at Myron School of the Arts, in Juvenile Hall, and nationally on Zoom for kids and adults. She is part of the Kennedy Center's Teaching Artists Present program, contributing her original poetry lessons to their online video library. Her writing appears in Rebel Society, Wee Moon, Raw Earth Inc., Quiet Lightning, Tiny Seed, The Aquarium, Advocate, Common Ground, Tiny House, and American Songwriter. A nature girl who spent 15 summers solo backpacking, she hikes the trails and lives in a tiny cottage in Marin County, California. She spends her summers camping and writing. For info about her poetry workshops on Zoom, visit www.meredithheller.com. Thank you for listening to this audiobook narrated by the Audiobook MMEE YouTube channel.